Good morning. We are going to use Photoshop for the first time today. I'm hoping that you already have your pictures of your cyanotype downloaded to your computer. Mine, I used Google Drive, and it downloaded to my Downloads folder. Usually anything you download from a website is going to go in that folder, so let's go to the Finder to find that file. You have this All My Files thing here that just kind of culls or collects any file that you've ever created or downloaded. But the downloads go directly to this downloads folder. But either way, you're going to be able to get to it from here. Once you start making more files, this will get more kind of busy, convoluted. But either way, let's go to the downloads folder. And what I want to do is, first we're going to talk about the file called the Jpeg, which you might have heard of before. Because we're going to use Photoshop so much, I want to make sure that this computer opens up every JPEG in Photoshop. So we're going to begin by right-clicking on the file, choosing Get Info. On Windows, I forget what the equivalent of this is, but it doesn't matter. Let's come down here. This tells me all about it, when it was taken. You can add comments to files if you want. I don't know who does that. But what we're concerned about is this Open With feature. So I'm going to open the twirly next to where it says Open With. So click on the twirly. And right now, the default application is Preview. So we are going to click on this and change it to Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop CC 2017. And then importantly, move this over. We need to click on Change All. So not only will it open this one file in Photoshop, it's going to open up every JPEG in Photoshop. So we'll click Change All. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. Continue. And it should say here in a second that it will open in Photoshop. If not, I'm going to be really embarrassed. Let me try it again here. Change All. Continue. Okay, well, perhaps you might have to do it twice, but essentially you're going to tell it to open Photoshop and then click Change All. And then evidence. I want evidence you've done this. So how do we do it? Screenshot, Shift, Command 4, and then click and drag over that window. And that has made my little screenshot on the desktop. So we'll turn this in a minute, actually to this assignment. So you're going to submit 2 photos, which we're going to talk about in a sec, and your screenshot as well to this assignment. So there's going to be 3 files I want to see. A screenshot showing me that you are now opening all JPEGs with Photoshop. So now what I'm going to do is select both files here in my Downloads folder. So I've clicked once here. Now I'm going to hold down the Shift key, click on the second photo, and then I'll double click. We'll see Photoshop start bouncing up and down. And if this is the first time you've launched this application, it might take a few minutes to do. This is the little loading screen with some kind of Inception art. Okay, let's see. Adobe's popping up here. I'm going to let that go. And whenever you see this little rainbowy wheel, that's called the rainbow of death. Sometimes that means your application is frozen up. Okay, so here are the 2 angles I wanted you to shoot your cyanotype from. Bird's eye and backlit. Backlit meaning the light is coming from behind here. Bird's eye, you're using kind of window light, and you can tell by the shadow where the window is located in this shot. The first thing I want to do to this one especially is flip this, because I want it to be more vertical than horizontal. So let's just show you how to do that first in Photoshop. I'm going to go to the Image menu and choose Image Rotation clockwise. That flips it 90 degrees clockwise. This one's a little blurry, Mr. Zebarth. Yes, I agree. So I can navigate between these 2 documents by the tabs up here, very similar to what you have in Chrome. And really, all that I'm going to ask you to do here is add text to, we're going to label these 2 files. So just to quickly show you how to do that, we're going to use the type tool, which is down here in my toolbar. Click on the T. That will give you my little rainbow wheel here. It's thinking. It's thinking about all the construction noise next door. There we go. Okay. So when you're in the type tool, the options up here change in Photoshop. Font, font style, font size. I'm thinking you're going to want to start with not a 12-point font, but like a 120-point font. You'll see why in a sec. So I'm going to type in 120, then hit return or enter. Now I'm going to bring my cursor down below here. Click. It has placed a little blinking cursor, which I can now type my label, which is birds. I think bird's eye. It's like hyphenated. Cyanotype. Okay. From here, let's play with the different font choices. So I'm going to edit this text. I don't like the default font here, so I'm going to click and drag over the text to highlight it. It does kind of this weird thing with the pink, but then you have the option of coming in here and changing it to like Arial, right? Or I like Avenir is kind of a fun one, and we'll change it from Roman to heavy oblique. Looks kind of cool. And then I still need to go up a little higher, so instead of 120 points, I'm going to click on this triangle next to it. It only goes up to 72, so we're going to go highlight this, 150. Okay, awesome. If you want to change the color, let's go back to my type tool. And I'm going to, watch what happens though with this cursor. When I bring the cursor down here, there is a little box around the cursor. And what that means is if I click right now, it's going to make a new layer of text. But I want to not make a new layer, but edit this existing text. So look what happens when I bring my text cursor and put it over the text. That box goes away. So that means now it's going to edit this text. So now I'll click and drag over. I'm going to change the color to white by clicking on this black color up here in the toolbar. Click on white, and then click OK. Awesome. I'm done. Let's save this. So I'm going to click on this top tool here, the little crosshair, to get out of my type tool. And now I'm going to save this file as a JPEG. So we'll go File, Save As. Let's put it, it's going to ask me what to save it as. We'll call this Bird's Eye Cyanotype. Under Format, we'll choose JPEG. And I'm going to put this on my desktop. Ooh, no. You should have a drafts folder, right? Actually, let's not worry about drafts. That's okay. Let's just save this one on my desktop. Click Save. Under Quality, the only thing we're going to change here is change this to 10. So whenever we change the quality of a JPEG, it's going to be 10 for the rest of the year. And that's it. There I've got 2 out of 3 files to submit to this assignment. Next, I'm going to go to my second photo. Select the type tool. Click down here. It's going to keep my same font choices, so that's awesome. Make it, the second time is going to go quicker. I'll click down here, call this Backlit Cyanotype. Okay, feel free to make it bigger if you want. I wouldn't cover up the cyanotype. I really like this backlit thing because it shows all the texture in the cyanotype, which is awesome. Same thing, File, Save As. I'm going to call this Backlit Cyanotype. Under Format, choose JPEG. Save it on the desktop. Click Save. Quality. Let's choose 10 again. Click OK. That is all. 3 files for 1 assignment. This is your first symmetrical cyanotype. I hope you enjoyed.